Hello dear passengers, today I'll explain why should you pull on this banner. This banner is actually great. It has two solid units, Hammer Rodion and Meursault. So, why do you pull it? First, for Meursault. He is quite good on its own, but he becomes even better with synergies. About them I will talk later. He is quite tanky, but fatal to blunt damage, which might be deadly in chapter number 3. His first skill is quite bad, you don't really want to use it that much, because even if it has some good debuffs on your opponents, his second and third skills will be much more valuable. His second skill is actually the star of the show, you want to use it all the time, because it inflicts some great debuffs, like Bleed, Nails and Bind. Bind is actually the best one. Also, 5 nails on the target is actually pretty impossible, because even if it gets some great debuffs, but his support unit, Rodion, Hammer, doesn't really inflict nails except for her second skill. Third skill is quite useful on its own, because not only it inflicts nails, but it also heals his life. But mostly you want to use his second skill. His passives are also great. The difference between passives and support is that support works everywhere, while passives works only on the battlefield. His passive isn't that great, while support is actually quite amazing. He gets a good buff on someone with the lowest HP, and if it will be Rodion Hammer, it will also give her Fanatic, which also synergizes quite well with her third skill, to make it damage more. His passive is actually quite bad, because not only you need him to get to 50% HP, but hardly to make him to 50% HP without any problems. Maybe he will get staggered, and these buffs won't do anything, except for maybe protection. He is quite good on its own, but he becomes even better with the right comp. For example, you need Rodion Metal Hammer, which is also quite good unit to have. Her first skill is also quite bad, but it inflicts bleed, it inflicts nails, and it also has passives with the same affinity. Her passives aren't that good, because you need an enemy to defeat, but if it works, for example in waves, it will work greatly. Another great units to have in this composition is usual Ishmael, usual Heathcliff, and the She section Don Quixote, if you want someone cheap. For an expensive one, I would recommend to use Plate Lineage Salsu Sinclair, or Rabbit Heathcliff, or Kurokumo Wakasho Ryosho. She implies bleed, she implies paralyze, which is quite good, which is amazing, and her passives are also quite solid. While Rabbit, also he works with ammo, which are quite bad at the moment, and his passives synergize well. About egos. You don't really want to use Meursault ego, because it gives him debuffs. But if you will use it in the right time, for example for one enemy, it will work greatly. Other egos are all fine, for example Ishmael, Heathcliff are all having a great ego. That's all. Thanks you all for watching. Goodbye.